Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't mind, we have a very special guest to have a little Q&A with here from the LPGA Tour. My name's Jerry Foltz. I'm one of the, they call us on-air talent, but actually just talking heads for the Golf Channel, out covering the groups and walking with them through the fairways as we bring an international audience of over 120 different countries and markets, live coverage from here in Minnesota. So without any further ado, 23 years old, a rookie on the LPGA Tour from right down the street, Maple Grove, Illinois, played for Wayzata High School, three-time All-America at Michigan State, and she made it into this event as the last player in the field. Many of you know the story, by a whopping $3 on the money list, and then hit the very first tee shot Thursday morning. Please welcome Sarah Burnham. All right, thank you so much for joining us. And to reiterate what Mark Rolfing said to many of you yesterday, and not to disparage men's golf and the PGA Tour, but you wouldn't get a lot of guys willing to do what she's did after a round of golf out there today, and still trying to make some birdies to come in here and spend time with us in this setting. So thank you very much, Sarah.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, when did you find out that you were in the field, and what were your initial emotions?
So I found out Sunday night at about 7:30 p.m. and I was so happy. I actually was very surprised. I didn't even know I had to play well last week to even get in here. I thought it was just not even a chance or possibility, but I screamed with joy when I found out. So.
And who was the first person you told?
Well, I was with my boyfriend Jackson at the time, so he found out, and then I texted my parents.
Oh, that's terrific. Yeah. Many of you in a rookie season, still trying to get her feet wet on the LPGA Tour, finished 27th in the qualifying series last year, but had struggled to make any cuts up until last week, where she made her very first cut and finished, as I said, with enough money to get in by $3. How much was this on your radar, being just down the street from where you live, when you got your LPGA card last year? How strong of a motivation was it to get here?
Yeah, so it was one of my goals that I wrote down, just to come out here to play in my hometown. There's not an event here every year in Minnesota, so I knew this was just one of my goals, to play here and get the opportunity to play in my home state.
Having been around this, probably the longest course the LPGA maybe has ever seen, the way it's currently set up, all four of the par fives on this golf course this week for the LPGA Tour are longer than two of the three par fives the men played last week at Pebble Beach, if that gives you an indication of how long this course is. How much does playing here in this environment, down the street from home, in the biggest event on the LPGA Tour, make you hungrier for success out here to get back to this type of environment as regularly as you can?
Yeah, I mean, I can only hope to continue playing well. I mean, this week I just made the cut at the number +5, and it's just really fun to see that I can just compete with the best in the world.
What's been the best part about your rookie year?
I think it's meeting all the different caddies.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's, they all have a unique personality, and everyone's from everywhere, and just meeting all different players around the world too.
Who's the coolest caddy?
My caddy. Maybe. He's been good to me so far.
What about the players? Who has taken you under their wing? Any of them?
Amy Olsen kind of has. She's from North Dakota, so she's kind of been watching me come up, and even when I qualified for the tour, she messaged me right away saying congrats and looking forward to having me out. So she's been someone to look up to out here. You
had a tremendously successful amateur and collegiate career, but getting out here, it's a little bit of a different story. What have been some of the learning curve for you so far at this level?
The biggest learning curve is just like making the hump of making the cut each week. That's something we didn't have in college, so just having that extra pressure to play well the first 2 days is definitely different. And then it just feels like a national championship every single week. It's the best of the best.
That's really good. In college, though, you play a tournament, you have a week off, you go to school, you study, and then a couple weeks later you might have another tournament. This is week after week after week. How much of a grind does that become?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something I had to get used to. It was kind of nice in college, like we get the week off in between tournaments to practice, but you pretty much only have maybe 3 or 4 days to get ready for the next one. And I mean, just traveling a bunch is definitely hard to get used to, but I finally feel like I'm getting in a groove.
I think the people that watch on TV view all of you guys, they know you're the elite athletes, the best in the world, who participate in the most successful women's sports organization in history. And they think it's a really glamorous life. Week in and week out, missing a few cuts. Tell us some of the things that they might not know about life on the road that aren't quite so glamorous. I know, for one, laundromats are...
Yeah, definitely the laundry, and then just like living out of your suitcase is different. You're not... you're packing up, going to a new place every week, and then I'm not a huge fan of hotels anymore, so looking at the same TV, but I finally figured out like the host family kind of thing, so I'm looking forward to staying with some people.
This week's the ultimate host family, isn't it?
Yeah, my own bed.
Yeah. What's the crowd support been like for you this week? Hitting that first tee shot Thursday morning, how nervous were you?
I was a little bit nervous, but just being out there and learning the past couple weeks, it's been good. But actually, it was more nerve-wracking on Friday when I had the afternoon tee time. I would say there was probably like 75 to 100 people just lining that fairway, and that was pretty like nerve-wracking. It was just so cool because I would look out and just see people I knew, and I just thank all the Minnesotans for their support this week.
The new LPGA brand imaging campaign, Drive On, has been a huge hit, and it really resonates not only with young ladies who want to become professional golfers, but people of all ages, all walks of life, any gender. It really is something special, and this week hits home with the dedication to inspiring greatness here. Which female in your life has been the most inspirational to you, and why?
I would say maybe my mom. Yeah, I don't know. She just taught me a lot through my life. Also, my coach, Stacy Slobodnik, she helped me a lot. Just like how you gotta grind it and be tough out on the course, and even in life in general. It's just how it is.
When you see all the commitment from some of the other players, Christy Kerr might be the only female professional currently active athlete who has her name on a hospital. Morgan Pressel raises millions every year for cancer research and support at her pro-am. Brittany Lincecum does the same. Val Skinner's had one for 25 years now, and the list goes on and on. When you see the type of character that the players on the LPGA Tour possess, how much does that inspire you to greatness so that someday you can help do what they've paved the trail in doing so far and giving back? Yeah,
it's really cool to see others that I get to compete against, give back to the community, and just trying to get my feet out there right now. But if I continue to do well and be successful, I hope I can do the same.
What do you want to say to the people here, because they have embraced this championship? The weather might have kept a few people away the first few days, but this, in the 5th year, has broken all ticket sales, pre-sales records for the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. What would you like to say to the people that embrace this championship here in Minnesota?
Yeah, I think Minnesotans just truly love golf, and I can't thank you guys enough for coming out and the support you guys have given me this week. It's not like every week we get all these fans out here, so it's really awesome to see your support.
When we do this again next year, which I certainly hope we do, and I list your list of accomplishments coming in, what do you hope it reads between now and then? What are your goals in the next 12 months?
Well, for first goal, I would just say I'd like to keep my LPGA card. It's tough out there, and if I can just make a couple more cuts and everything, I think I'll be all right. But I'm just looking forward to taking one shot at a time and see how far I can truly go.
All right. Pleasure having you here.
Yeah,
thank you so much. And thank you guys for being a great audience.